Perfect. And Chair Jarrett, the recording has started for you.
Cool. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Fred Jarrett, and I am the chair of the Public Disclosure Commission, and currently am presiding over this hearing conducted under the authority of RCW 34.05, the Administrative Procedures Act, WAC 390-28, and WAC 4217A of the Campaign Disclosure Contribution Act. The hearing is being held by teleconference in accordance with Governor Inslee's emergency proclamation, and these proceedings are being video and audio recorded. Today I'll hear a number of matters in a brief enforcement hearing. The staff have provided a written record for each case, and each respondent has an opportunity to appear by phone or may in writing waive their right to appear. I'm going to move now to ask the Tabithas to introduce themselves, and then I will swear them in, and we will proceed with the hearings.
This is Tabitha Blacksmith, Compliance Coordinator.
And I am Tabitha Townsend, Compliance Coordinator. And Jordan Campbell is also in attendance and not going to be presenting today.
Do you want to give an overview of the process, and
Yes.
And we can get started.
Okay, so as a brief overview here for those of you who have not attended one of these in the past, today's brief adjudicative proceeding, or BAP as we call them, concerns two groups of filers who staff is alleging violated CW 4217A 700 and or RCW 4217A 205. As an elected or appointed official who failed to file or timely file the Personal Financial Affairs Statement, or F1 report, disclosing personal financial information for calendar year 2020 that was due by no later than April 15th, 2021, and also candidates who failed to file or timely file the candidate registration C1 report and or the Personal Financial Affairs Statement F1 report, disclosing personal financial information for the 12 months preceding candidacy that were due within 2 weeks of becoming a candidate or no later than June 4th, 2021. The timelines, we do have the two groups, so there's two different timelines. We have annual F1s. These were due no later than April 15th, 2021. In May of 2021, PDC staff emailed warning letters to annual F1 filers regarding missing reports due for the calendar year 2020. In June of 2021, PDC staff emailed hearing notices to elected and appointed officials that were due to file the F1 report by April 15th, 2021. The bulk of these cases were heard at the BAP on July 15th, 2021. In a review of additional cases, we sent on January 14th, 2021, hearing notices by electronic and regular mail to the additional 16 elected officials, elected or appointed officials, that were identified as owing an F1 report for calendar year 2020. And these 16 cases appear on today's agenda or in the resolved cases section. The resolved cases for annual F1 filers is appended at the bottom of the agenda. And these were either resolved by submitting a statement of understanding and a $100 penalty and the late F1 report. There were a few that were closed administratively for either technical issues, illnesses, array of other matters that might warrant administrative closure. And then for candidates missing C1s or F1s or both, the candidates were sent email reminders by PDC customer service staff before and after June 4th, 2021, which was the final due date. In June of 2021, the PDC staff emailed warning letters to candidates regarding the missing report due for the 12 months preceding their 2021 candidacy or their registrations. In July of 2021, PDC staff emailed and mailed hearing notices to candidates that were due to file an F1 report and or a C1 report within 2 weeks of becoming a candidate, or no later than June 4th, 2021. The bulk of these cases were heard at a BAP on August 12th, 2021. And again, during a review, there were cases located to still be heard. And on January 14th, 2022, PDC staff sent hearing notices by both electronic and regular mail to an additional 20 candidates that were identified as still owing C1 or F1 reports for the 12 months preceding their 2021 candidacy. These 20 cases appear on today's agenda, either in the active cases being heard or in the resolved that is appended to the bottom of the agenda. Again, the resolved cases were either resolved through statement of understanding or closed administratively. And I'm available if you have any questions, Chair Jared, about that timeline.
Nope. Let's proceed. Why don't I swear the two of you in accordance with the court rules and Washington's laws against perjury? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you will be giving today is the truth?
I swear.
I swear.
Perfect. We said that we would go out of order and go with Michael Kester first. Can you give us a brief understanding of what the status of his case is?
Yes. Let me just switch screens here. Give me just one brief moment. Yes. This is regarding PDC case 94092 against Michael Kester, who is or was a fire commissioner in Spokane Valley Fire Department. And I'm just pulling up the case so I have the particulars in front of me. And there was a statement of understanding that was sent in, and the report was filed. So the case is in the process of being closed through the statement of understanding. And I understand that Michael Kester and his daughter, Jessica Lewis, are on the line. And originally, the allegation for Mr. Kester's case, which is pulling up very slow, I do apologize, was a violation of RCW 4217A 700 for failure to timely file the annual personal financial affairs statement covering calendar year 2020. And so we have solved this with the $100 statement of understanding.
Okay, so he has paid $100. He has signed the statement of understanding, and he has completed the F1.
Correct.
And so what's the status? What's his status now? I think that's what his interest is, if I heard correctly.
So he has the
He's clear of a violation.
He has the violation on record with the statement of understanding that does count as acknowledgement of the violation. And I think that's what he's here to discuss today.
Okay, Mr. Kester, do you have something you want to share with us?
Yeah, Mr. Jared, just that I believe,
Hold
anything
on one
else
second,
from
Mr.
you?
Kester. Tabitha?
You just need to swear him in, Chair Jarrett.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, okay.
This is a continual problem that I have. Mr. Kester, in accordance with court rules and Washington's laws against perjury, do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you will be given today is the truth?
Yes.
Perfect. Now proceed.
Okay. No, now, oh yeah. I was waiting for someone else. It was my turn. Yeah, no,
Yes.
what the problem had come up to, sort of, Fred, is that my daughter had handled and set in motion my case to, to file my claim for my statement for my, well, public disclosure statement. And she had done that, and then what she had used for return email address was the email address I had when I was running my campaign to run for fire commissioner. I think if you'll check, you'll see it was Mike Kester for SpokaneValleyFire.com or some in that thing. But that email address has not been used forever. And if I had been getting stuff in the physical mail, I would know it, because the first thing that I show in my physical mail was this this Public Disclosure Commission subpoena for this public disclosure statement, and that's the first thing I even knew about it. But what I did do, sir, is I got on and I did get it completed with my wife, and we got it in for 2020, and I also have done 2021s and have that also on file so that it will not be late, and this will not happen again now that I know what I'm supposed to do. But as I said, sir, I am a rookie at this, and some of these things slip by the wayside. And with my daughter now living over on the coast and me over in Spokane, it was kind of hard for us to stay in touch on what I should and should not do. So I will let her speak with you if you would like to hear from her.
I'm willing to listen to anything she'd like to share.
Jess, are you there? Well, Mr. Jarrett, it looks like we lost her. She was
Or
there a
maybe
little
not.
bit ago, but
Well, I'll tell you
I'm here. Can you hear me?
yes.
oh, now you are. Now we got her. Yes.
So before you start, in accordance with court rules and Washington state laws against perjury, do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you'll be giving today is the truth?
I do.
Perfect. Proceed.
I just want to take full accountability. I had volunteered to help my stepdad run this campaign and help them set everything up. And then once he was elected, I thought everything had been filed and handled properly. And I didn't bother to look into the account, didn't know that anything needed to be set up to where he was actually getting the notifications. And then shortly after last year, I ended up getting a pretty severe case of COVID, and I can, that left me, I would say, somewhat debilitated and not fully cognizant. And it's been, I just want to take full ownership of the fact that somewhere along the lines wires got crossed and that things were not done properly. And so this is more me just taking accountability. It was, I can assure you that everything my stepdad did, he did thinking everything had been handled and was done properly, and that if any of the miscommunication happened along down the lines, I want to take full responsibility and accountability for that, sir.
So I appreciate that. The thing that I'd point out is that you are required to maintain an email address that is current. This is something we have a fair amount of experience with people failing to do. But for some years now, we've moved away from paper as being the basis of communicating and to electronic communications. And the only way that works is when candidates and their administrative staff maintain a correct email address in the records with the PDC. And so I think that's what the problem here is. And I think we're stuck with the statement of understanding, and I appreciate the fact that you take ownership of the air, but I think we are where we are. So thank you for participating today, and good luck, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, and thank you.
All right, we are now back at the top of our agenda. And Tabitha Townsend is taking on Rick Russell at this point, I think. And Tabitha has to unmute herself.
And I was just saying that Mr. Russell needed to unmute himself so he could be sworn in.
Well, my observation is that in the 2021 era, the line that we all used was unmute yourself. And this year we're going to be telling people to mute themselves.
And
all
I
right,
believe,
should I?
yep.
Let's let Tabitha set the stage here, and then I will swear you in.
Okay, perfect.
Mr. Russell.
So this is PDC case 102548 against Rick Russell. And PDC staff is alleging the violation of RCW 4217A 700 for failure to timely file the F1 report covering the prior 12 months. And it looks like the F1 has been filed at this point. There was no SOU turned in, and he is currently holding the school director position in Granger School District 204. The base penalty is $0 to $150. And I'm available if you have any questions.
No questions. Mr. Russell?
Yep, I'm here.
In accordance with court rules and Washington's laws against perjury, do you, Mr. Russell, swear or affirm that the testimony that you'll be given today is the truth?
Correct, yes.
All right, what do you want to share with us?
So first and foremost, thanks for the opportunity to just chat with you guys. So this is my first time ever running for an elected office. I just simply wasn't aware that, what I needed to file and when I needed to file it. I became aware of it. I think the first email that I received, and it actually went to my spam box, was December 30th of 2021. When I got somebody reached out to me, or I can't remember how I got contacted, but the moment I got contacted, I then called your guys' office to figure out what I needed to do to get in compliance. And so once I figured that out, I began filing the appropriate documents. And so I'm just here to apologize for not following the process. I take full responsibility, and I'm going forward there shouldn't be any issues. And I do understand that I need to have an email address on file that's active, and if there's any changes, then I need to let you guys know.
Okay. Well, I find that you did violate the law by failing to submit your F1, and will establish a fine of $100 since you have already filed your F1, and suggest that you not do it again.
You have my word. I appreciate it.
Thank you for participating, Mr. Russell, and thank you for your service. I spent time on a school board too, so I know you've got the toughest job out there.
I appreciate it. And then I just assume I'm just going to submit the payment to the address that was sent via email for the statement of understanding.
We will send you a finding, and with the finding instructions on when to send the check in.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Perfect.
And Mr. Russell,
Thank you.
if you send in the payment of the penalty prior to receiving that, our accounting department has nowhere to post that, so it could get sent back to you. So We'll be sending you the findings, and it will have all the payment information there for you.
Okay,
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Okay, Tyler Poling.
Okay, so this is PDC case 102552 against Tyler Poling. This PDC staff alleges the violation of RCW 4217A205 for failure to timely file the campaign registration, or C1. Tyler is currently holding the position of Parks and Recreation Commissioner for East County Park and Rec District. And the base penalty here is $0 to $150. And I'm available if you have any questions.
No questions. 1 second here. Okay. Mr. Poling, in accordance with the court rules and Washington's laws against perjury, do you, Mr. Poling, swear or affirm that the testimony that you will be giving today is the truth?
Yes.
What do you want to share with us today?
Well, I have provided a statement, and I hope to ask to be given a warning on this matter and a $0 fine, as it would be a hardship to endure $100.
Do we have his statement?
I'm looking right now.
If you need, I can read it into the record.
I have.
If it's short, go ahead.
Certainly. I have no staff. I do not campaign. My elected office is with East County Parks and Recreation District, an uncompensated government position. I apologize for my filing error. I make all effort to file as early annually as possible. I am an unpaid caregiver and full-time and a struggling worker when time provides. The COVID situation has greatly complicated existence to the present. I did not file for office until the late filing date in August. I apologize for my filing error. It is in not checking with my financial filing with the commission at that time. When I was made aware of the violation, I refiled my financial report at the earliest opportunity, and I will do my best to prevent this from happening in the future. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. I do find that you violated RCW 17A205 in that you did not file a C1. I do understand that you have filed the C1 and will suspend the $150 fine contingent on no further violations over the next 4 years.
Of course.
So keep your email updated and your filings as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next person who is on the phone is Amber Bartz. And this is PDC case 102544 against Amber Bartz, Port Commissioner for Port of, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, is it Illinois? 6? And this is in the C1 and F1 reports for candidates section.
I just found it.
Yeah. And PDC staff is alleging that the candidate did not file the F1 report, which is RCW 4217A 700. There was a filing that was done for this year's filing, but the prior year did not get filed properly prior to this hearing. So the base penalty is $250 for not filing prior to the hearing, and I'm available if you have any questions.
I have no questions. Ms. Bartz, are you on the line?
It's *6 to unmute yourself, Ms. Bartz.
Okay, I am on the line, yes. Is it working now?
In accordance with the court rules and Washington's laws against perjury, do you, Amber Bartz, swear or affirm that the testimony that you'll be giving today is the truth?
I so swear.
What would you like to share with us today?
Well, I did not realize, I guess right off the bat, that I needed to file 2 financial statements. I went online and it asked for one, and so I filed that one before February 4th as I was supposed to. This is my first time in office, my first time running for office. I did so in hopes of making a difference. I was unaware that a personal financial affairs statement needed to be filed within 2 weeks of declaring my candidacy, or honestly at all. I received no email or paper stating so, nor was it listed where I filed online. I also originally filed for a school board position, and then when they told me that I wasn't in the appropriate district, decided to do the Port of Illinois Commissioner 2 position, which pays about $256 a month. I have since filed the F1 report and thought I did so appropriately, but apparently did not, so I apologize for that. And all I can say is that this is my first time having ever run for any political office, and I apologize profusely for being caught unawares now twice. And thank you so much for your time.
So Tabitha, Ms. Bartz has 2020 and 2021 requirement for the F1?
Correct. In the way that our system is set up, when they log in, they are required to file the report that's due now. And then they have to file the prior report after that.
Okay.
That's the way the system is.
Okay, so it didn't give me any prompts for that, so I had no idea. And why do I have to file a 2020 if I did not file for candidacy until like June or so in 2021?
So you would
because I just filed 2021, or did I just file 2022?
You would be filing for the 12 months prior to your candidacy. So if your candidacy started in June, you would be filing back to the June of 2020.
Okay, I understand. Sorry, like I said, this is the first time. I have no campaign, anything, and I didn't even run a campaign because I was the only one who ran for the position.
I always found that to be the best kind of campaign.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's generally a sure thing, which is a bright side, I guess. But I can go and get that done, oh boy, hopefully over this weekend. I'm on my way to Seattle for a Seattle wedding show because I just started another job. Usually I'm a stay-at-home mom, so that's also my 100% main job in life. Anyway.
Okay, well, I'm going to find
whatever.
I am going to find that you did violate RCW 4217A700 by failing to file the required F1 report for the 2021 election cycle. And I will fine you $250 for that, but I will suspend $150 of that predicated on you filing the appropriate report and having no further violations over the next 4 years.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You have a good day.
I just want to make sure, just really quick, I want to make sure that the email address that you have on file is appropriate because, as I said, I have not received any emails, and this paper statement was the first one that I received at all.
We have that you filed with abartz79@yahoo.com.
That's perfect. Yep, that's it. Okay, I will be more diligent at checking my spam folder then.
Thank you very much for sharing with us, and you have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Bye-bye.
All right, next.
That appears to take care of all of the phone participants.
Okay, so we are now just going through in order, starting with Jessica Mary Roberts, right?
That is correct, Commissioner Jarrett. And I'm going to read these as a batch if you'd like, since they all have similar fact patterns.
Let's do it.
All right. Let me get my script in front of me. Pardon me, I'm working on a different computer today and things are a little different. All right, so I'm going to read off the case numbers, the respondents, and the and their details, and then I will go into the rest of it. So the 5 individuals in this category are officials with no prior violations who failed to file the F1 report before the date of the hearing. These individuals are Jessica Mary Roberts, PDC case number 94073, who Jessica is a city council member for City of Medical Lake. And the next case is Michael S. Del Sandro, case 93982, city council member for City of Battleground. Jean A. Dillenberg, PDC case number 94003. Jean is hospital commissioner for Grant County Hospital District number 4. Kathleen G. Nordberg, case number 94166. She is school director for Hawkinson School District 98. And Perry C. Wilkins, case number 102534. And Perry is Park and Recreation Commissioner for Falls City Metropolitan Park District. Staff is alleging that these respondents have violated RCW 4217A 700 by failing to file the personal financial affairs statement or F1 form that was due to be filed with the PDC no later than April 15th of 2021, disclosing financial information for calendar year 2020. These respondents have not filed their reports as of the date of the hearing. Let's see here, they're not participating today. And staff is recommending that you find a violation of RCW 4217A 700 against the aforementioned respondents for failing to file their F1 report and assess an appropriate penalty in accordance with WAC 390-37143 for a filer with no prior violation who failed to file the F1 report by the date of the hearing. And the base penalty for that is $250. And I'm available for questions.
So I have no questions, and I will find that each of these respondents have violated RCW 4217A 700 by failing to file the required F1 for calendar year 2020 or 2021. And I will fine each one of them $250 with $125 suspended predicated on filing the F1 within the next 30 days and no further violations over the next 4 years.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that, Chair Jarrett. The next group is annual officials with 1 prior who failed to file prior to the hearing. And let me pull up the script. Okay, so this one has 1 case here. So this is PDC case 93938 against Jesse Baines Jr., who is a Parks and Rec Commissioner for Metropolitan Park District, Tacoma. Mr. Baines has is or was an annual official, and the staff is alleging that Mr. Baines violated RCW 4217A 700 by failing to file the personal financial affairs statement covering calendar year 2020 that was due no later than April 15th, 2021. There is one prior violation with the PDC, and the respondent is not participating. The staff is recommending that you find a violation of RCW 4217A 700 against Jesse Baines Jr. for failing to file the F1 report and assess an appropriate penalty in accordance with WAC 390-37-143 for a filer with one prior violation who failed to file the F1 report by the date of this hearing, and that base penalty would be $500. And I'm available if you have any questions.
I have no questions, and I do find that Mr. Baines violated RCW 4217A 700 by failing to file the required annual F1 for calendar year 2000. And I assess a penalty of $500 with 250 suspended, predicated on the F1 being filed within the next 30 days and no further violations over the next 4 years.
Perfect. Thank you, Chair. Have we made your next section only one person instead of two?
We have.
I see that. Thank you.
So that's Harold Rowellstone.
I believe so. Would you like me to proceed?
Proceed.
This next case is for Harrison Ralstone, PDC case number 102549. Harrison was sought office as a Park and Recreation Commissioner for East County Park and Recreation District and is not participating by phone today. He is a first-time candidate, and let's take a look here. He has not filed the report as of the date of the hearing. And staff is recommending that you find a violation of RCW 4217A 700 for failure to file the F1 report for the date of the hearing, and the base penalty amount for that would be $250. I'm available for questions.
And just as a note, Chair Jarrett, there were a number of these individuals who filed for the wrong year, and this would be one of them. They did log in and file this year's report, but did not go back and file the prior.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Other than participation, it's very similar to Amber Bartz's case, the one you just heard over.
Okay, so I will find that Mr. Ralstone did violate RCW 4217A 700 by failing to file the F1 for the 2021 cycle and assess the same penalty that we did for Ms. Bartz.
Thank you.
And so I have that as $250 penalty with 150 suspended. Is that correct?
Yes.
I was making a note.
All right, and our last section, which I feel like we're getting to very timely. These are candidates with no priors who failed to file. And let me get my script up here. Otherwise I stumble. All right, so the first one, or I'll read both of them together here. The first one is PDC case 102526 against Julia Hart, who she is because she won the election, city council member for City of Sunnyside, and PDC case 102525 for Casey Ann Morrison Scott, who is also a city council member for City of Aberdeen. Both were candidates. Let's see, Julia has filed the C1 report, but not the F1 report. And Casey has not filed either the C1 or the F1. So this changes their base penalties. For Julia, it would be a base penalty of $150 for the C1 and $250 for the F1. Whereas Casey's base penalties would be $250 per report. Staff is recommending that you find the violations for RCW 4217A 205 and 700 in both of these cases, and assessing the appropriate penalties in accordance with WAC 390-37-143 for the filers with no prior violations who failed to file one or both of the reports. I can review those amounts again if you would like.
Well, let me make sure I've got it right. Ms. Hart filed the C1 late, but has not filed the F1.
Correct.
And Ms. Morrison has not filed either report.
Correct.
So I will find that Ms. Hart did violate RCW 17A 205 and RCW 4217A 700 by failing to file the required C1 and F1 reports for the 2021 election cycle. And I will assess a penalty of $100 for the C1 and $250 for the F1. And I will suspend 125 of the 250 predicated on the report being filed within 30 days and no further violations over the next 4 years.
Okay, and can I repeat that just to make sure I've got it noted properly? We are fining $100 for the C1, $250 for the F1. We are suspending $125 of the $250 penalty for the F1.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
But she has to file a report and no further violations.
Perfect.
For Ms. Morrison, I will find that she did violate RCW 17A 205 and RCW 4217A 700 by failing to file the required C1 and F1 reports for the election cycle. And I will fine her $500 with $250 suspended, predicated on getting the reports filed within 30 days and no further violations over the next 4 years.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chair.
That gets us to the end of the list.
It does indeed. And do we have a moment to brag for a moment? I didn't get a chance to tell you that we were able to resolve 24 of the 36 cases we started with outside the hearing before we even got here. So that's like 67% resolution rate. And
well, I was figuring that all this was Nancy's doing. It was either because she wasn't here to slow us down or because she was perceived to be the one that was lenient. No, you guys did great. You guys did great.
We're making up for the 6-hour meeting that we put you through. We're really sorry about that one.
And much appreciated. And I will lord it over Nancy that she missed the short one.
Will do.
And Jordan, you can stop the recording if you have not already.
And we are adjourned.
Thank you.